responding to comments from our listeners. Welcome aboard. So, Jeremy, we have several comments that people have made, and I thought that we would go through some of the comments. So, one of the feedbacks we got was that we're AI. Are we AI?
I don't think I'm AI.
I'm not AI.
I'm pretty sure I'm not. So.
I think part of that might have come...
I know what the stoplight looks like. In fact, AI asks me what the stoplight looks like.
I don't get that reference.
Those little pictures that you have to click all the boxes.
Oh, yeah.
You're training AI. If you don't know that, people, you're training AI. So pick the wrong ones for a while. I know it takes some time out of your day, but pick the wrong ones. It'll make you feel better.
I did not know. I didn't even think about
that. That is absolutely what you're doing. You are training AI. And so you can actually get an idea of what is coming by what you're training the AI on. What have we been doing? I mean, if you would think of those pictures, what are you always doing lately?
You're clicking certain boxes,
Buses, traffic lights,
traffic,
all these things. The traffic lights are a big deal because the traffic lights have to do with the fact that, and I just read about this the other day, that the lights get caught up with like line of sight with like signs, and the cars can't read that that's a green light or a red light, and they'll blow the stoplight.
Yeah, that could be dangerous.
So they're now putting a reflective like band around them. And if you look, a lot of the newer lights have an orange box, a reflective yellow or orange type of reflective tape around the stoplight.
I'll take a look next time I go. Well, one of the reasons why I think people thought we were AI at first was because when we first started doing this, I was editing and making things perfect. And now I'm like, I'm only going to edit out stuff that maybe goes so far off task.
Yeah.
Or if, all right, we had a second subject going on, I want to kind of clip that out and put it up separately. But pretty much I let the tape roll.
Yeah.
And I clean up like little clicks and stuff like that. But I do that when I push a button.
That.
All right, this is a comment. Remember when we were doing a review of the construction worker?
Yeah.
This is a comment from one of our listeners. Are you hiding your faces because the guy who worked construction is actually Louis C.K.? So somebody wants to know if you're Louis C.K., which...
I wish I knew who Louis C.K. was, and maybe I'd be impressed.
He's a comedian who got in trouble for hitting on too many women backstage and just, let's just say, introducing everybody to his microphone. So he got
unfortunately, no. I'm more boring than that. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I am definitely more boring than that.
You are a gentleman, though.
Thank you.
I will say
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you are.
I've never made a pass at you.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Though when we went to dinner at Texas Roadhouse, somebody actually thought we were a couple.
That was hilarious. Yeah, I'm like. I think it was because we were talking about breakfast the next morning. It was like,
what was funny? She's like, "Oh, well, you're at the table together," and I'm like, "That doesn't mean anything."
And I'll let Seth decide if he's going to edit this out or not.
Go ahead.
I am currently surrounded by in this house.
Oh, that's getting edited out. Thank you. I have many cats. All right, and Venezuela ain't going to win, which was a small clip about, we were talking about going to war in Venezuela. Somebody said the U.S. couldn't even control downtown Baghdad, which was kind of true.
It wasn't ours to control?
Yeah, I think it's a different situation. In Baghdad, we went in, we took over the whole country, where I don't think we want to go in and take over Venezuela.
Yeah, no, I don't. Gosh, we certainly don't need to do that. But to be fair, we can't even control downtown Seattle.
That was good. That was good. All right. With our cartel boats, we did a thing on cartel boats.
Yeah.
Somebody's comment was cartel boat go boom, boom, which I think was a reference to something we said. And then somebody else said, tell the CIA to stop bringing in drugs. They started this whole thing. What do you think?
That was a big... I don't believe the CIA purposefully brings in drugs, but I think just like the gun running, people get kind of short-sighted on things and they don't realize what the next steps are. We supplied all these guns to these foreign governments and everything, and then lo and behold, they showed back up in our country. Why? Because they put them on the market and sold them. Who bought them? We did. And so I don't necessarily believe that our CIA set out to bring drugs into America, but I wouldn't be surprised if our CIA backed certain people that were involved in drugs to help get other people out of office. And
well, in the past, the CIA has brought drugs into some communities because they were using their connection, allowing that to happen to fund other things. So it has happened. So I can see how somebody could say that. This comment came a while ago, about 3-4 weeks ago. I'm not going to say the guy's name online, but I will just say from his name, it is evident he's a socialist because it basically says it in his name.
Yeah.
It was Schumer shut down. If you think that people continue to do huge tax cuts for the wealthy and increase spending on the military and ICE give a damn about balancing the budget, you're an intellectual toddler. And to that, I responded because I looked it up. The top 1% of federal earners, of income earners, pay 40% of federal revenues.
I'd believe that.
Yeah. The top 10% pay 72%.
Mm-hmm.
The top 50% of income earners, half of all people pay 97%.
Yeah, I'd believe
of
that.
Income earners. So basically, the bottom 45%, once you figure out all the benefits they get and the EBT and everything, they pay nothing.
Well, that's been my big complaint is we don't teach math, and people don't realize that percentages don't necessarily tell the whole story. I mean, you can have somebody who's only paying 1% and they still pay way more than you paying 10%. It really depends on your income and where you're at on that. I love to use Ford and Chevy as the example. Ford definitely has more cars in repair. Ford definitely has more cars in recall than Chevy ever does. But Ford also eclipses Chevy in the amount of cars they make. So, of course, their numbers are going to be higher.
Yeah, everything's relative.
Yeah.
You have to figure out the ratio.
I'm always joke about when I taught in my previous school district, it looked like we were horribly against Pacific Islander because we had this outrageous suspension rate for Pacific Islanders.
Let me guess, you had 2 or 3.
There were 18 and they all got in this huge fight. And they all ended up getting suspended. And so it was like we had like an 80% rate for suspending Pacific Islanders.
Well, see, and that's the problem because here's the thing. If you expect every racial group to act exactly the same, there are more factors than just racial groups. You have the way you're raised, the community you're in. But
if you look at percentages, it can be completely skewed. It just depends on what number you look at.
Oh, yeah. I think it was Mark Twain said there's 3 types of lies. There's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics.
I believe that.
Statistics can be moved around any way you want. Yeah. And, I think there was a great man that once said 93% of all statistics are untrue. 97% of people know that. And that was from the great Homer Simpson.
I'll have to take your word on that. I haven't watched enough Homer Simpsons.
Let me see if I can find them really quick. YouTube.
It's funny. This is how much The Simpsons have leached into everybody's lives. I don't think I've watched more than 3 or 4 actual full episodes of Homer Simpsons. I mean, of The Simpsons. And I know so many stupid little Simpsonisms.
All right. So going back and forth with the same guy, I basically put things out. It's math. When the top 1% are paying 40% of federal revenues, they're paying their fair share.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They are definitely paying their fair share. And if not, what is a fair share? 50%? 60%? At a certain point, every dollar you take away from somebody who is in that 1%, that's a dollar that can't be invested in new businesses.
That's why I have argued for years we need to go to a VAT tax, where we're taxing as a sales tax, not as an income tax. Because then when you go buy that Bentley, you'll pay more in taxes than the guy who bought the Toyota Corolla.
You know, one of the reasons why I would be okay with a VAT, value-added tax, versus an income tax. My biggest thing about the income tax is, number one, you know, if you know what you're doing, you can hide it. You could put it under the table. Number two, if you get rid of the income tax, one of my biggest problems with the government is, what is their business knowing how much I'm earning? You know, why is it their business to have all this data?
Well, it's more important to know what you're spending.
Yeah. So if you actually put a VAT, pretty much most things are going to have a tax on it, and you're paying it there. So, you know, you'd end up getting probably more revenue, and you could lower the tax and get more revenue.
I don't remember who it was. One of the guys, he didn't get elected. It was one of the guys running for government, for president years and years ago. And obviously these numbers are wrong now because we owe so much more. But it was a deal where it was going to be a 13% tax. And that would be your VAT tax.
It would be a flat, or you're talking a flat tax?
Yeah, it was 13% flat tax.
On income
on sales? On sales. And it would have paid back the deficit in like 3 or 4 years. It was insane.
I think that was Ross Perot.
Was it Perot?
I think it was Ross Perot.
It was either Perot or Rand Paul.
Could be.
One of them.
Well, going back to this one guy, you know, that I was talking to you about that. I'm jumping into parts of it here. This is his response to me. The disparity in the amount of taxes paid that you pointed out is evident of the even more unjust disparity of wealth across our country. Our system is built on exploitation of the working class by the owning class. Workers created their wealth. Well, I'm sorry. You've owned businesses.
Yes.
And I'm sure at times you've done very well, and at times you didn't do as well. Who got paid first?
Employees always got paid first. I spent 2.5 years living off savings just to make sure I kept employees employed.
Now, were you doing more hours than them?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Okay.
Always.
So, but I'm sure when the businesses take off, you start reaping the benefit of that investment of your time and money.
Yes. And good employers help share that benefit.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. You know, I look at, let's go to this super wealthy Bill Gates. I am not a fan of Bill Gates. I can't stand the guy. Okay. And presently he's doing a bunch of things that I completely disagree with trying to have mosquitoes deliver vaccines and all this stuff. But he started out with nothing. He was a college dropout. And he got Microsoft going. Now, he did some shady things at the beginning, like he bought the program and then he repackaged it and sold it. Elon Musk, how many people does he employ? How many businesses has he started? Like he has, I mean, everybody knows SpaceX. Everybody knows Tesla. A lot of people don't know he helped co-found or start or get off the ground PayPal.
Yeah.
He has the Boring Company.
The Boring Company, and then there's another one. I can't remember what the spinoff of the Boring Company was.
There was one where they were using vacuum tubes to move people along.
Yeah, well, that's part of the Boring Company. The Boring Company is the one that actually drills the hole.
And they're going to put that in.
The company is, yeah.
But I mean, how many tens of thousands of jobs has he created? And if it's not just the jobs he creates, now these people are going to go out and they are going to go buy food at another, lunch at another restaurant. Well, is that restaurant owner now exploiting the worker? What has the worker done that is different from what the employer does? And the business owner, he's risking his time and his capital. A lot of people put up their house. A lot of people put up their retirement funds.
Yeah.
The worker trades their labor for a guaranteed income.
Yes.
Now, if a worker went to you and said, hey, Jeremy, tell you what, I'm going to work for you for free. If the company's not earning money, I don't get money. But in 2-3 years, give me 10% of the company. Would you consider something like that? Maybe not those rates, but that kind of thing.
I would definitely consider it, depending on circumstances and everything. But that actually happened. Ever heard of a guy named Lee Iacocca?
I've heard very much of Lee Iacocca.
Lee
I
Iacocca-
know what you're talking about.
Lee Iacocca worked for 5 years for free for Chrysler Corporation, well, on the promise that he would turn the profit in the company. And he exceeded. They thought, oh, well, he's asking for this. It's just not going to work. It's not going to do that. He actually made millions at the end of the 5 years because he not only exceeded what he'd said, but he just blew it out of the water.
Well, he literally saved the company.
He did. He brought the company
was
back from ashes.
Yeah.
Literally ashes.
Yeah.
He saved Ford. A lot of people say that Ford wouldn't have survived if it hadn't been for the Mustang.
Oh, absolutely.
And Ford fired him for the Mustang, which I think is hilarious.
There you go. This one, I love this one. This is to you and I. Cornball incels desperately justifying their stinky takes. This channel is hilarious. So my response to him was, we're glad. I'm sorry.
Cornball incels? Oh, that's their name.
No. That's what they were calling us.
Okay.
Incels are involuntarily celibate people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's called marriage.
Oh, not wrong.
Oh, I'm going to be in trouble tonight. So cornball incels desperately justifying their stinky takes. This channel is hilarious. He didn't even give himself a thumb up. You know what? I'm going to give him a thumb up right now. I wrote, we're glad we make you smile and laugh. And he wrote back, oh. So what do you have to say to this lovely person?
Yes. Bourbon helps me cope.
There you go. I would say this. Thank you for making a comment because that helps the algorithm.
That's true. I mean,
really
I would like everybody to know that whether you comment good or bad, whether you like good or bad, it's okay.
Now, this one I have to agree with. I do agree with this guy. This one was from Venezuela ain't going to win when we were talking about going back into Venezuela again.
Mm-hmm.
This person said, and I've seen this name before. He has commented on other things, and he usually puts pretty good stuff. In my opinion, the worst thing to do is be overly confident. Keep in mind that the British Navy was the strongest navy in the world at the time of the American Revolution, and yet America was successful against their navy. It's not always the numbers, and then he guesses that Venezuela will go down within 2 weeks. My response is, well, yeah, they did have the strongest navy at the time during the American Revolution, but they were spread out. And the other thing was that the revolution was not really a naval war per se.
I was going to say, I didn't think, because we were using France to help with the blockade, right?
Well, the last battle, the French Navy was on loan to us.
Yeah.
And that helped block Cornwallis in at Yorktown. So yes, the Navy did get involved. The British were not able to break through, but for the most part, the revolution was not really fought at sea. It was a land war. And we used guerrilla tactics.
Well, I was going to say, we took the Native Americans' tactics. And in a turn of events that was kind of ironic, a lot of people say that in Korea and Vietnam, they used our tactics against us.
Oh, yeah. In Vietnam, believe it or not, people study Washington. Washington was not great at winning battles. He was great at retreating. And out of 9 major battles, he only won about 3 of them. His expertise was being able to survive and keep fighting. And basically, we did not win the American Revolution. England lost it because they could have continued fighting, but after Cornwallis went down, they gave up.
I was going to say, they had the resources to keep going, but they chose not to. Because let's face it, if we weren't happy then, we weren't going to be happy 20 years from now. We weren't going to be happy 30 years from now. So there was no end in sight of the money bleeding, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were bleeding money left and right. It was costing so much, they figured, let them go. We will come crawling back.
I was going to say, they thought we'd fail.
And we almost did with the Articles of Confederation. We tried a constitution called the Articles of Confederation.
That's right.
One thing you should learn from the Articles of Confederation, the AOC, anything named AOC, is going to fail.
I was waiting for that. For
Democrats, use the National Guard. Somebody said, your examples show presidents using the National Guard to expand rights and freedoms to its citizens, whereas in the current use of them is to quash civil liberties and rights, a complete 180.
I don't know that I agree with that, but okay.
I totally disagree with that. Well, number one, I think American citizens do have rights. Part of that right is to be able to control their own border.
Well, yeah, and I mean, the National Guard is there to help clean up the streets. I mean, so...
Absolutely.
All right, is it my right to be assaulted on the streets at night, or is it my right to assault on the streets at night? Which one are we talking about that the National Guard needs to uphold?
Well, the other thing he said is that presidents do not have the authority to use the National Guard as a police force without being requested by the governor. And my response was, well, did Governor George Wallace request Kennedy when to send in the National Guard in 1963, and when LBJ sent in the National Guard in 1965? And that was when Wallace said, segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. Wallace didn't request that.
Yep.
So, I mean, we appreciate the comment, but he was absolutely wrong. So one thing, we really do appreciate these comments. We'd love you to keep commenting, whether we agree or disagree with you.
Well, that's part of this. It's to open a conversation. I know it seems one-sided, but those comments, I mean, as you said, we air them. We would like to talk about them.
And now for Jeremy's favorite part, what would you like to see, Jeremy?
I would like to see you subscribe, and I'd like you to like, and I'd like you to ring the little stupid bell, and I'd like you to do it in such numbers that I never have to ask for this ever again.
And here I was thinking Jeremy would like to see pretty ladies sending us pictures, but no. We'd be in trouble with that. Do not do that.
Yeah, don't.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, please don't send pictures.
All right. And well, thank you very much. And allowing us to do this, we're having fun doing it. We've got some new equipment. We just added some new desk in just today. We added in some boom stands.
I now have personal space, and I can recline in my chair. It's amazing.
It's great. We're having a great time doing this. Thank you for listening.
And with that, we'll see you at the next stop.